This is the Yom Yom. These are sayings from
yesterday's.
You are right. You are right. Very good. Thank you very much. The Tanya, which is printed in Zolkavi, in the year Mavaser Tov. This was 1799. This is before the Rebbe was first Rebbe. was put into prison. It was no. This is afterwards. The Tanya that was printed 1799. The first version of Igeret Teshuvah was printed, and it wasn't divided into chapters. And there are different variances from the present text in content. In other words, the Tanya wasn't. Now the Tanya is divided up into 5 books, but then it was not divided up into 5 books. And it also that was the first time that the Igeret Teshuvah, the 3rd book of the 5 books, was printed. That's this week. That's today. Let's do tomorrow, Shabbos. And this is the birthday of the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, Yud Beis Tammuz. On this day in 1927, he received the good news that he was freed from exile, which was imposed upon him after he was arrested and imprisoned for his efforts to strengthen Torah and Judaism, especially with children. From a letter of the previous Rebbe was in prison. He was in the hands of the communists for about almost a month. And he was released. He was like 2 weeks, a little more than 2 weeks. He was in prison, and then he got out. And a little less than 2 weeks, he was in prison for like 2 weeks, and then he was sent to exile. And he was supposed to be there for 3 days. He was supposed to be there for 3 years, and instead he got out in less than 2 weeks. Actually, less than 10 days. From the letter of the Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak, he wrote like this: in the days of, this is like 1 year after he got out. In the coming days of Yud Beis and Yud Gimel Tammuz, the Hasidim are supposed to make forbringings, and they're supposed to, about the material and spiritual good and blessing, like the Alter Rebbe said, may the Alter Rebbe did, making forbringings and blessing one another for spiritual and physical good. Is in the forbringing, the Hasidim are supposed to talk to one another in a spirit of brotherhood about strengthening times for fixed Torah learning. I send them my blessing, that God favor them in body and spirit. So the freeing of the Rebbe from prison, as we said before, that's what we've been talking about the whole week, was essentially the victory of the Torah over evil. Communism was pure evil, and anti anything spiritual whatsoever, and especially God. And their power was death and intimidation. That was their power. And frightening people and scoffing, whatever. And it worked on everybody, but it didn't work on the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. And he not only was not intimidated by them, but he actually went against them, and he sent emissaries to teach, especially children, and to build mikvahs and to make kosher slaughtering, things like that, in the face. And they, as was expected, put him into prison and sentenced him to death. And miraculously, he got out. He thought that he was going to give his life for the cause, for Judaism, because he was doing what God wanted and not being afraid. And logically, it should have been that way. That was the whole power of Stalin, was killing. He just killed tens of millions of people. And the Rebbe not only defeated Stalin and communism, but he defeated death. And this is the precursor of the raising of the dead. No more death in the world. No more fear. No more negativity. And that's what we're waiting for now. Now I'll tell you a story. 1 second. Let's